but don't worry, they will naturally fall off. And if they don't, don't panic. There is such a thing called a bath that you can take. We don't really recommend it. At least I don't. Who needs a bath? One more. Okay. Oh, hello there. Please come in. Come in. I have been waiting for you this entire time. Oh my lord. I have heard so much about you. Oh my god. Wait, let me get a good look at you. Oh wow. It is truly wonderful to meet you in the flesh. I've expected many different things from your powers, but really it does not manifest on you. Yes, okay, so let me explain what's going on. I'm sure this is a little bit overwhelming for you. I personally am your alchemist. I am going to figure out what is wrong with you, as in, what is going on? Why is it that every time you touch something, it turns to gold? Truly marvellous. And really, a gold mine, if you don't mind me saying, I can potentially get you into I have connections, is what I'm trying to say. So, how about we just get started? So, I have a few notes that I need to take down. So, who might I have the pleasure? Oh yes, of course I'm literate. If I wasn't, what kind of alchemist would I be? So, if you don't mind me asking, who are you? What is your name? I've only heard of what people say. You're the gold man. You're the man of gold. And of course, we don't really know if you're a man, but please tell me. Okay. Wonderful. Okay. Do you read, write? Do you know Latin? Okay. Perfect. So, if that's not the case, then where did you grow up? Okay. And after it was razed to the ground, where did you move? Okay. Yeah. That must have been a rough time for you. If you could tell me, when did you start exhibiting symptoms? What do I mean? When did you start turning things to gold? Okay. Not long ago, then. And who was the first to discover this? I mean, I'm sure you were, but who with you, other than you, could attest? Okay. Your mother. All right. And lastly, do you... I mean, this is by the bailiff's decree, so we don't really have much choice, but I do have to ask, are you alright if I, perform a few experiments and see a few things and, take some measurements and all that? Okay. Well, it was either this or jail. Oh well, this would be a lot easier. Okay, well, that's all good for now. The first thing I want to do is I want to prove this hypothesis. I want to see you turn something to gold, right? So I have here a little metal thing, and I'm just going to... And wonderful, look at that. Pure gold. It was silver before this. It's pretty expensive already, but now this is wonderful. Look at that. Isn't it marvellous? Okay. Well then, I have to take some measurements now. So, let me grab... Okay. Now what I'm going to do here is this is going to be my measuring stick. I'm going to put it all around you. I'm not going to touch you. I'm just going to make a few marks on this. And it's going to help me figure out... well, you see, there's this emerging... I really think I'm a pioneer of it, really, but there is this emerging science where the shape of people's faces can really determine what sort of personalities they have. I think it's related to when people are born, the stars and the moon, all of that to say, I know what I'm doing. So please stay still, all right? And right there, okay, and then just, okay, right there, and right there. Okay, move your head to the side. Okay, careful not to touch you. I don't want to turn to gold. I particularly love my life, really. Yes, people of this modern age really love an alchemist. Mostly nobles, they really tend to hear a lot of what I have to say. And to be honest, sometimes I just make it up and they just believe me, and it is a riot. Okay, up. Yes, put your chin up for me, please. Okay, so from here, perfect, to here. Perfect. Okay, now, I think I need one more measurement, and that's your forehead. So, just up here. Perfect, and perfect. Wonderful. That is truly amazing. Okay, we might come back to that later, but for now, we're going to move on to our second test. Let me just... Okay. You feeling all right? Okay, good. Next, I am going to use my special tools here. They're made of wood, but they have been blessed by a priest. So do not worry, they will not be turned. I believe my current running theory is that you have been blessed by Satan to turn things to gold, and it is truly, the work of God to allow us to test us, really, to see if we would succumb to such a power, or if we can overcome it, so you might be the devil incarnate, but it is just a theory. Do not worry. So next, I'm going to just give you a few little taps, right? I'm going to tap on your face, on your shoulders, on your forehead, and really I'm tapping in multiple places where you would expect either Jesus Christ, the Holy Ghost, or any of really the Christian faith to be instilled within you. Really, I'm trying to draw that out to really prove my theory. So if this is painful in any way, just know that Satan is being driven out of you. So, stay still. I'm going to start with your chin here. Okay. Yes, stay still. Wonderful, wonderful. Perfect. Next, I'm going to do your forehead, alright? So just stay still and perfect. Look over there. Perfect. Yes, I can see it. Okay. Now I would like to do your right shoulder. So right here. Okay. So you have to vary up the little taps, otherwise Satan will catch on. Right. Okay, and now the other one. Now lastly, everybody knows that Satan loves to live in the nose. If you've ever had snot, a runny nose, that is Satan's work, right? So this is going to be the big and final push to get rid of him, right? So just really open up those caverns, right? And perfect. Relax for me, relax, yes, that's one nostril down. Wonderful. My hypothesis is coming true. I'm witnessing it. But I cannot be certain, right? We still have it is, I believe, the devil that's within you might have a bit of work, right? You might be a bit shifty and tricky. So, first thing I'm going to do, now that I feel like I have to trust my instincts. I have here this little object. It is a little glass container filled with special magical beads. Now, they're not really magical, right? I say they're magical because they have divine properties, and they will help ward off the devil that's within you. Now, I think if and I can't touch you, right? So I'm just going to use this. Just have to find the perfect bead here. And okay. Next, another bead. Yes, these are really the holy beads, and what they're going to do is it's going to leave, it's going to really narrow the space that Satan can really move across within you, right? So just stay still. Perfect. Okay. One more. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. So now we have to do the shoulders. Just got to. These can be a bit tricky. Okay. There we go. Then over here. Are you alright? Okay. Perfect. And within the nostrils. Now these beads are going to stay on you for a while. But don't worry. They will naturally fall off. And if they don't, don't panic. There is such a thing called a bath that you can take. We don't really recommend it. At least I don't. Who needs a bath? One more. Okay. Okay, perfect. That will be all in regards to that. Okay, now that we've got that in, I think he's found solace in one of the few places that can really, really sort of take this power, right? The satanic power can really only take form within the gut, within the stomach. So I think I'm going to need to brew a few concoctions for you, a few potions for you to try. Really my specialty, right? So I do have my little brew here. I'm just going to be adding a few things to this, all right? So first things first, I've got here a few ground up herbs, right? It's some marigold, some poppy, maybe some thistle in here as well. So I'm just going to shake this in here. And yes, it's a base of water, right? I'm just going to put a little bit in here, like that. There we go. Perfect. And then next we have here. This is a little container I have. It's a special ingredient. It's really a mixture, right? It's another one of those things where I don't really want to tell you in case you are in cahoots with the devil, and this isn't just an unwilling possession. I don't want to have the underworld know of my secrets. So stay still while I continue to do this. Okay. Okay, perfect. And lastly, I've got a few pieces of bark here, which I will put in here for the aroma. Okay, so that's one. I'm going to grab another. That's two. And That's 3. Okay. So now I'm just going to take another one of these. I'm just going to stir it, right? And I need to have it boil for 2 turns. Turns, that's at the hourglass, right? So just for a couple of minutes, we're going to need to... There we go. Yeah. Perfect, okay. There we go. And so now I need to put it in a container and let out the steam in small bursts. So I am just going to pour it into here. I'm just going to put this here. Now I'm just going to let it out, and in, out and in, just like that. And this is going to let out the steam, right? So that some of the vapor can come back in and others are let out, right? It gets rid of, it really concentrates it. Oh yes, of course I know what I'm doing. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Then I'm just going to pour it into this little teapot. There we go. Perfect. Put the cap on. This is of course handmade. Everything is blessed by a priest here. So then we're just going to pour. There we go. And here you go. Drink up. Yes, drink it all. I know it tastes a bit bitter, but it'll really help, I promise. How did that taste? Good? Okay. Now that that's over, we just have one more thing to do, and it's your eyes, right? I do have one more thing, and it's a little bit of the concoction that you just drank, but we need to put it in your eye. Now, I've left a bit out for it to cool, and what we're going to have to do is use a little bit of a dropper, and I'm going to really just put it in your eye. So really don't worry about it. It's not going to sting at all. And if you're a bit worried about like some liquid getting into your eye, just think how much the devil must be peeing into your eye. You know, you don't want that. This is going to wash it away, right? So this is really going to be one of those things that you know, as an alchemist, this is all scientifically proven, and you can trust me. You know, I am more important and likely more intelligent than any bloodletter that you could hire. So, oh no, this is not going to get rid, and this is to get rid of the devil. If you continue to have your power of turning things to gold, then that will mean that we can use that power for good. But if not, then we might have to crucify you. We'll get there when we get there. So, I just have an eyedropper here. So please relax for me. Tilt your head back. Yes, and 1. Perfect. And 2. Perfect. How wonderful. Okay. Really shake it out. Okay. Let me write down my findings here. Perfect. Alright, so how are you feeling? I have a few questions. Do you feel woozy? Do you feel nauseous? Do you feel like throwing up, really? Okay. How is the bladder control? Do you need to use the chamber pot? Okay. And Do you feel the devil escaping from within you, or do you still feel him within? You've never felt the devil inside you. Okay. Listen, I hear that there's a thing called a therapist that you could maybe go and talk to, because really, denial is not a pretty thing. So I'm just going to write that as a little note for you. Okay. And do you still think that you can turn things to gold? Okay, how about we give it a try then, right? Here. How about I have this little tweezers. I'm just going to touch you, right, with it. And if it turns to gold, then the devil was not responsible for this power, and it will mean a revolution for the world. If it does not turn to gold, it means that the devil was inside you, and you should say 10 Hail Marys and go to your local priest, okay? So. It's not gold. It's the devil's work, I tell you. The bailiff will be happy to hear that. Yes, he thought he might lose his job if something as big as this were to have come around, but okay. Perfect then. You know, I knew as soon as you said you were illiterate and you couldn't read Latin, I knew that this was devilry. I'm sorry to tell you that. Well, at least you know now, and that'll be a fun story to tell your children someday. Okay